El Toro is an intimate prefabricated wooden roller coaster located at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And just a couple weeks ago, I got to revisit this amazing ride. So today, I'll be reviewing it, talking all about it, going through the layout, talking about what I like and dislike with the ride, then give it a final score out of 100 at the end of the video. Alright, so for the layout, you're going to come out of the station into a little straight section, and then you're going to go into a left-hand turn right here. Then you're going to go straight into the cable lift, which is 181 feet tall. I think it's probably about 16 or 17 miles an hour, so it's pretty fast. And it gives actually a really nice view. You can see Runaway, Mine Train Bazaar off to your left, or off to your right. Then you can see Kingda Ka, Green Lantern, Superman off to your left. And you're going to crest over the top of the lift hill, and then go into a little straight section here. Then you're going to go into a right-hand turn here and straight into your first drop. Now this drop is absolutely incredible. It is my current second favorite coaster drop I've experienced behind Skyrush. And it's so good. It's 176 feet tall, I'm pretty sure, 76 degrees. You get whipped over. It's so steep. And the front's good, but in the back it really whips you over, and it pulls you straight into a really tight and intense valley, and then up into the first awesome airtime hill, full of sustained ejector. Really powerful. Just so strong. The first time I rode this coaster, it truly blew me away. It's definitely more sustained in the back, but it's stronger in the front. But it's definitely good in either row. It's just a really great moment. You go into another intense valley and fly right past the queue to another pretty similar airtime hill, which is basically the same thing. That's the first sustained ejector hill, which is great. It's really an awesome moment. Then to another intense valley with some great head choppers actually, and then up into the turnaround section, which is a bit rough, but it's definitely really intense. And you get some nice laterals going into it, and just some great intensity going through the turn. The main jack-o'-lantern is at the bottom of it, but it's not terrible. Then you'll bank left, then do a nice drop with some pretty good floater airtime, then some little floater hills with some great head choppers, then to a turn into the amazing rolling thunder hill. Just such a strong moment of airtime. It's a really sharp crest. That's why it's so good. It really pulls you over in any row. It's just such a crazy airtime moment. You'll do a little drop down to some really intense rapid fire turns, which are crazy to see on a wooden coaster, and especially the lap bar. It's really good. Into an intense turn here, to some little twisty things, and then one final airtime moment into the brake run. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the layout. Alright, so talking about what I like with this ride, where do I even start? There's so much good about this coaster. As I said in my vlog, this is a top 2 coaster for me, and I had to determine where it ranks, but I'm not going to say yet, because I hopefully will have a top 25 out soon, so you guys will find out when. But I will say, it is really close with this and i305. They are just so good. But this ride is just amazing. It's got an incredible first drop, which whips you over and is filled with crazy strong airtime. It's got a cable lift, which is really cool. There's only 2 on a wooden coaster in the world, the other being T-Express. The airtime is so strong throughout this ride. There's floater and ejector. The camelbacks are so strong. The rolling thunder hill is just absolutely incredible. There's sustained moments. There's quick pops of airtime. There's just such great airtime throughout, and it's just really great. It's really intense too. The valleys give great positives because they're so tight. The turnaround's really intense. The bank turns at the end are super intense and whippy and just forceful. The the laterals are really strong on those, and on that turnaround. It's really smooth, fast-paced. It's just such a good ride. The theming is not, there really isn't a lot of theming, but it's actually, they'd say, decent for like a Six Flags coaster. They kind of did an attempt for it, but it's not great. It's still cool, and yeah, the trains are really good. I actually really like the trains. People complain about the restraints, but I think they're actually really good. They allow for some great airtime. Um, and even if you do get kind of stable, you can still get some great airtime. They're not like really uncomfortable or tight or bulky. They're pretty similar to the Intamin T-Bar. It's just a little bit different, but I'd say I like them just about as much. And the seats on this ride are really good. It's just such a fun coaster. It's really smooth, really intense. It is draining, almost like I-305. It is just so good. Now, talking about the best seat on this ride, I do think the back is definitely the best place to sit. You get the best drop, you get the most intensity in those valleys, and just overall, you do get more pull on those airtime hills. They're more sustained. But the front was definitely a lot stronger. The front, you do get pushed over those airtime hills, or the camelbacks were better. But honestly, you found the Rolling Thunder Hill and the Floater Hills and stuff about equal in the back. The middle is good, but I'd definitely say the middle is just kind of weaker than both the front and the back. Um, the front will give a smoother ride, um, but it's more of a back row guy. The only thing I like better in the front is the camelbacks, the valleys, all the bank turns and stuff, and the rest of the airtime hills and the drop are better in the back row. Um, so yeah, there's just so much to like about this ride. It's just such an amazing coaster. Definitely my favorite wooden coaster, but that being said, there really isn't much competition, considering my second favorite is, uh, I mean, I'd say it's a higher tier GCI, but it's still GCI. Thunderhead is my second favorite wooden coaster. But it's definitely the best coaster Grid Adventure, the best coaster in the northeastern U.S. Um, it is a top 2 coaster for me. It is just nearly perfect. It is a bit short. It is a bit rough at points, like mainly the turnaround. And the bank turns at the end of the ride are a bit rough, and you do get a little bit of roughness on that turn. Before the Rolling Thunder Hill, uh, if you are sitting in the very back, um, but if you're sitting like on a non-wheel seat, like the Magic seat, it is um, definitely pretty smooth that turn. But like the ones at the end of the ride and the turnaround are a bit rough. You do kind of get slammed aside. So far, pretty good. And this ride also has great head choppers too. Something I did mention. There's a lot of head choppers throughout, like right after the first drop, in the middle during those floater hills. Um, you just get some really, really good head choppers, and before that turnaround. Um, there's just a lot to like about this ride. Um, it's just such a good coaster. It's fast paced. There's really, I mean, yeah, I did some minor complaints, but they're really not much compared to the awesomeness of this coaster. It's near perfect. It is probably, I'd say, the second best wooden coaster out there behind Lightning Rod, from the looks of it, although I haven't ridden Lightning Rod yet, or Voyage of Holiday World, so I guess I'll find out after I ride those coasters. But it is just an amazing coaster, the best coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure. One of the best coasters I've ever ridden, one of the best airtime machines I've ever ridden, and it's really intense too, which is great. It's just such a fun coaster. So for a final score, I'm actually going to give it a perfect 100. I think it is pretty much a perfect coaster. There really aren't any huge complaints. Just an amazing coaster. You have to go to Six Flags Great Adventure to ride this thing. It is just so fun. It's such an intense coaster. So much airtime. Just an amazing drop. It's just so good. Has some of the best airtime moments I've experienced with those camelbacks that drop in the Rolling Thunder Hill, the Great Ejector, and Floater. It's just such an awesome coaster. Um, so yeah, that's my review for El Toro Six Flags Great Adventure. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.